G'day everybody, welcome back to Photo Australia. We continue on with Grant's AV and we start talking about microphones. So I hope you enjoy.
I'll go right back to the beginning, and it's a good point, Brad. I would like to narrate over this, okay? And have a voiceover as it goes through. And I've tried to do that in PTE using their narration tool, and I'm getting mixed results. I'm getting a lot of echo and a lot of sound modulation issues, and that could be my microphone. But I've noticed in our workshops that we've done, our master, John Hodson, has recommended that we use different audio programs to record our audio. And I want to throw back to you on that because I'm the amateur now. I'm in a field I know nothing about now.
So you're turning from one amateur to another amateur.
Well, I think you've probably fiddled with these things a little more than I have. So, how do we make good audio on this, Brad?
Okay, so I do have a few tips. You have touched on one thing, is you do need a good microphone. It doesn't mean you have to go out and spend heaps of money. Well, here in our studio, I haven't spent a lot of money, but I have bought studio mics. But it's not only that. You really need a room that doesn't echo. At the moment, we're playing around. In this room, we've got multiple microphones on at the same time, which has its own problems. But if you only got one microphone, which most people would be, is that you'd have the microphone reasonably close. At the moment, mine are a bit too far away. But if I pulled my microphone up nice and close, don't have echo. This room I've actually used, which I'm going to pinch a piece here. I've used a lot of this material for trying to deaden that echo and the voice bouncing off of different objects. You don't probably need to go to that degree of things at home. Sorry, I'll give it back to you now, Grant. I've destroyed his little teepee that he had.
Otherwise, my little sound booth becomes an echo booth.
Yeah. So that's what I've done. The foam's reasonably cheap to buy, but you can use the same things of just having a sheet or some bedroom quilts or anything that's would absorb sound, and pick a room that has a lot of furnishings in it, and you might have to take over a living room or something like that.
Curtains, etc.
Curtains and lots of furnishings, so you don't get too much echo.
Yep.
So if you do that just far as equipment wise, then when you do bring it into and I'm not so pushed on certain types of software. There is a lot of software out there that's designed for recording. But if you take care of a lot of those issues, you don't need to play around with getting more technical with filters, which I have done when we're having issues, where you have to try and knock out echo. Because as soon as you start knocking out different frequency ranges, you can take out some of the voice as well. So, my suggestion is try to get your room set up or your little area where you're going to speak. Try and absorb as much sound around you. Have a good microphone. You can pick them up on eBay or any computer sites, or even Harvey Norman or any normal stores. A lot of places are now stocking them because of COVID, and people are now doing more things online. So it's relatively easy to find a microphone now. So pick up a good one, keep it nice and close to you, and absorb that sound. And I'll guarantee that you'll have a nice, clean, clear voice. The other thing is which is probably my problem a little bit, is try to speak clearly and a bit slower as well when you're doing it. Don't try and rush it like I sort of speak crazy all the time.
Yeah.
So
that is very true, and we Australians...
Oh, thanks, Grant. That's very true. Brad's voice is absolute trash.
No, I was actually referring to how we Australians tend to speak too fast.
Oh, I go over in America and they can't understand a word I'm saying.
we prattle it off. So yes, you're right. We do need to slow down and practice our, is it elocution? Is that the word? Yeah. Now, Brad, quick question for you. I purchased a pair of headphones with a microphone thing that flicks out around it, thinking that that would be the answer to my problems, but I couldn't get any volume out of it. So then I purchased a little standalone mic like you're using here off of eBay, and I had the same issue with that, and I'm thinking, oh God, I'm blowing my dough here. But then I messed around in Windows 10 and I found under microphone settings, you can sort of got to delve into the bowels of that a bit, but I got to a point where I could adjust the volume of the microphone, and once I did that, my standalone microphone worked quite well.
Yep.
But the initial settings in Windows 10 were terrible.
Yep. And it can be settings in Windows, especially if it's turned right down. And that's probably why John was recommending some software as well, which you can bypass a lot of that Windows control, where that software will take control of your microphone directly. Which is kind of what we're doing here with our recording studio, where the software is controlling the microphones. Where I can, so if I just I'm just using OBS Studios, and if I go to here, we are getting a double recording, but
double.
Yeah, we might not do that. But it's gives you control over settings of microphones, settings of cameras, all the rest of it. You probably don't need to go that far. Just something that can record with a microphone is all you really need. And like I said, I would still invest in a reasonable microphone. The ones that you get a little bit like a headset, Grant, I've got some at home. They're all right, but if you're wanting something that can capture the full range of your voice, there's a lot of what I call bass to a voice that the little microphones just don't pick up on, and they can sound a little bit tinny. Depends how far you want to go with it, but I find the bigger microphones, they're usually quite large, and if you can get that closer to where you're speaking, some people will also put a filter over the front of them to muffle any pops or anything from your voice. I would be going down that line because the quality of the speaking will come out that much better.
I found my headphones set. I used it one night on a Zoom meeting, and it worked. It plugged into the laptop, and it worked quite well. But when I was recording this, the headphone setup just didn't cut it. But the microphone eventually did once I got into it and worked out how to make the changes. So that's just a little tip for people playing around with that.
Okay, we're going to leave that episode right there. Bit of a quick one. In the next episode, Grant's going to talk a bit more about the story behind the AV. And after that, then we'll try and actually implement some of that story into actually recording his voice and putting into the AV instead of using titles. So, hope you enjoy these episodes. We'll see you then.